What is up everyone, welcome back to another video on TPL Locs. Today we are reviewing Wiz Khalifa. So Wiz Khalifa, his real name is Cameron Jibril Thomaz, and he was born in 1987, which makes him 31 years old today. He was born in North Dakota in the US. He is an American rapper, singer-songwriter, and an actor. His parents both served in the military, and he therefore lived in Germany, the UK, and Japan before they came back to Pittsburgh. This is where he attended high school, and soon after he started writing and performing his own lyrics before he was a teenager. A fun fact is that Khalifa, part of his name, comes from the Arabic word of successor, and the first part Wiz comes from wisdom. Apparently his grandfather told him that he was good at anything that he tried, so when he was a young boy, his grandfather named him Wiz Khalifa. So we start off in 2010 when young Wiz Khalifa did not have locks. Obviously he doesn't have any locks. It looks like he has quite short hair under his hat. He often uses hats, so it was hard to find a picture of him around this time without his hat on so we can see his hair. But in 2011, if we go to the next picture, we can see that he dyed his hair gold in the front left side always. This is how I first found him. I first started listening to his music when he had this hair, and I know a lot of people started imitating this and dyeing part of their hair gold just like he did. So here we can see he had quite short hair, and I think he had this for a long period of time before he started locks. 2012, he grew out the golden puff and he dyed it gold again, or kind of he bleached it, I guess. Again, this was his signature hairstyle, but not short after this, 2012. So shortly after this, he did get what looks to me like baby locks. He retwisted his hair, kind of seems like maybe he interlocked, but this really looks to me like he twisted his hair, and these look like baby locks to me. And if we go further to 2013, this is him at the Grammys. We can see that he definitely has started locks, because those baby locks, they've started to kind of thicken a little bit and they are taking shape very well. No doubt he had a hairstylist kind of retwist his hair just for this occasion because they look fairly formal. And you can see that he still has that golden part of his hair in the front where his locks are now gold in the front and the rest is black and fairly short. So in that same year, you can see that they are gaining a little bit of length. I think this was the end of 2013, because in a year, especially when your hair is still forming dreadlocks, the growth can be really slow because your hair starts to kind of lock up together. And oftentimes when people start their locks with long hair, their hair starts shrinking a lot because the hair starts locking. So here in this case, we can see that his hair in the back is starting to get lower down his neck. And in 2014, we can see that he has gained a little bit of length because he has the pineapple. He's rocking the pineapple, and the blonde parts of his hair are starting to fade, or maybe he re-dyed them black. You can still see some proof of that he dyed his hair once, but maybe he cut part of his locks. That's a possibility. I'm not really sure, but we can't really see the dyed hair anymore. Then he broke up with his wife and this happened. He dyed his locks purple, and I saw a recent tweet of him saying he will never use dye on his hair again, and I can imagine that using dye in your locks, it will damage them a lot. I get comments from you guys as well saying that you used to dye your locks, or you have done that before and you had to cut your locks, or it severely damaged your hair. So I think Wiz Khalifa also found that it wasn't really doing anything for him, and yeah, he went back to blonde. I think he maybe bleached his hair, or the purple could have been a temporary dye. I'm not sure, but here we can see he has the blonde locks, so he dyed everything. Although we can see that the black hair is starting to grow out. So maybe this is around the time where he decided he wasn't gonna dye his hair again. Again, we can see that he's gaining length. His hair on the back of his neck is starting to come down and the locks are becoming thicker. So if you compare this to this picture, you can see the difference in thickness. When you start your locks, people often think that they start them too small, but it's almost never the case, because if you then go back to this picture, you can see how thick they really become. And that's partly due to the hair that normally you shed, but in this case, if you have locks, it just starts combining in the locks, so you start getting more and more hair. 2016, he probably didn't re-dye his hair back to black because you can see the growth, the new growth. And that's the transition between the dyed hair and the black hair. His locks really became longer. Some of this really makes me wonder if he maybe put some fake hair around his locks, because it looks so shiny. It almost doesn't look like real hair. I'm not really sure, but yeah, this stage is a bit of an in-between stage, I think. Maybe he's growing out his dyed hair, who knows. So from 2016 we go to 2017, where we can see that he has all black locks, and these really look to me like a healthy set of locks. So he might have cut the blonde part out, although his hair is still fairly long, so I'm not sure if that is the case. Within a year, could be that his hair grows very quickly, but here you can see that he is starting to gain length. They are completely formed. They look like mature locks, and yeah, he always looks cool with them because he's very much known also for his crazy clothing style, and he really has his own sense of fashion, and that ties in very well with his locks. From 2017 we jump into later into 2017. I wanted to show you this picture because here we can see that he has this undercut. So the first row of locks, he probably got them cut off and he shaves his hair, and many guys do this because you can still have kind of like a clean look if you get a lineup. A lot of guys seem to do this. What else I think is funny is that he has a spray can and his hair is kind of cut as to where it looks like his hair is the freaking paint that comes out of the painting can, which is funny. It could be that this picture is a few months before the picture we just saw, because his hair here to me looks way shorter than it does in the previous picture, and that kind of hints to me that he at some point cut off the dyed parts of his hair to keep his healthy hair and get rid of the hair that died because of the hair dye. From 2017 we jump to 2018. 2018, and I think this is what he looks like now as well. I've seen a picture of 2019 and he has braided his locks together. So here you can see that he has healthy looking locks. This looks like a kind of a fresh retwist to me because they look really nice. They all lie down, and if we go back to this picture we can see that his hair is a bit more like the freeform look where they can kind of stick out and do whatever they want, and here it is fairly well kept and it's intentionally made very smooth, and yeah, I really like this look. It kind of reminds me of Snoop Dogg, someone we haven't reviewed either. I got a few people in the comments saying that we should review Snoop Dogg, so that is coming very soon. The last picture I wanted to show you of him in 2018 is this picture where you can see a little bit more up close that he's back to the length that we saw when he dyed his hair. So back to this picture, it's kind of the same length, but this is 2 years later. So it's safe to say that he cut part of his locks to gain the healthy set of locks that he has today. So that's the end of the video. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.